Today we're going to be talking about the difference between the word study and learn. But first of all, I'm going to give you a kind of a quiz in which you have to decide which sentence is correct. The first sentence it uses the word study, and the second one uses the word learn. And after that, we're going to discuss about the answer to the question so that we will understand about the difference between those words, study and learn. Okay, which one do you think is the correct sentence? I studied English at a university, or I learned English at a university. Okay, how about this one? Which one do you think is the correct sentence? I studied hard for my exam, or I learned hard for my exam. Okay, question number 3. Which one do you think is the correct sentence? People can study from their experiences, or people can learn from their experiences. Okay, question number 4. Which one do you think is the correct sentence? What can we study from the story? Or what can we learn from the story? Which one do you think is the correct one? Okay, here's our last question for today. Which one do you think is the correct sentence? If you want to be a good mom, you need to study how to cook. Or if you want to be a good mom, you need to learn how to cook. Which one do you think is the correct sentence? Okay, let's talk about the first question. Which one do you think is the correct one? I studied English at a university, or I learned English at a university. Well, the correct one is the first one, the first sentence. I studied English at a university. Okay, when you talk about, something that deals with school thing, then you can use the word study instead of learn. Okay, I studied hard for my exam, or I learned hard for my exam. Which one do you think is the correct sentence? Well, the correct one is the first one, which uses the word study. I studied hard for my exam. So why do we use the word study here? Because it deals with, reading books or even reading something from, any kind of websites. And you need to also memorize things that are necessary, which will be useful for your exam, for your test. Then you have to use the word study instead of learned. Okay, people can study from their experiences, or people can learn from their experiences. Well, the correct sentence is the second one. People can learn from their experiences. Why? That's the next question that we have to answer. Okay, here we don't read anything, right? Here we try to understand our past. We try to understand what we have done. We try to understand our experiences. And then by understanding, we can put some information into our mind. And we can put some kind of a knowledge into our mind that are useful and will be useful for our future. That's why we use the word learn instead of study here. Okay, what can we study from the story? Or what can we learn from the story? Which one do you think is the correct sentence? Well, the correct one is the second one, I mean. What can we learn from the story? Yeah, I know it involves, reading because we talk about story here, right? But then we don't just read. We also, make a conclusion. We try to understand. We read between the lines to get the lesson from the story. We don't just read, right? And after understanding something, it will change the way we are, the way we behave to something or to someone, right? For example, after reading that story, a man, a donkey, and a boy, we understand that, listening to everyone is not good for our life. Okay, we understand that. And after that, it will change the way we see that kind of thing. We will not do that again. Right? We will try to only listen to people that are, mean something to you. You don't listen to, just everyone. Okay, if you want to be a good mom, you need to study how to cook. Or if you want to be a good mom, you need to learn how to cook. Which one do you think is the correct sentence? Well, the answer is the second one. If you want to be a good mom, you need to learn how to cook. So the question is why? Okay, here reading might be involved here. I mean, you read all this recipe book, you study, how to cook from videos from YouTube, for example. But then you don't only need to read, right? You also need to like practice it. Yeah, you even need to practice more than just reading. So that's why I use the word learn here, not cook.